welcome aboard.
Thank you.
All right, so go ahead, Siley, we'll go ahead and let you get started.
Okay, great, thank you. So I called today's meeting to order at 7:09 p.m. on January 14th. We can all stand up for the pledge. Okay. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to be taking roll call, and I'll just do it the same way I did last time, where I call everyone's name one by one. So if you could let me know that you're here, that would be great. So starting off with Sonia.
Here.
Aruna.
Here.
Fengi.
Here.
Meghna.
Here.
Tejas.
Here.
And then I'm sorry, Andrea, is it Andrea or Andrea? I feel like I always mispronounce it.
Andrea.
Andrea, okay, thank you so much. Nidhi.
Here.
And then Rachel.
Here.
And don't
Okay.
forget yourself, Siley.
Oh yes, Siley, I'm present. Okay, so since we actually have full attendance today, we will not be seating the alternates. So I don't believe that there's a vote for that. We just move on.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. All right, so moving on to the approval of the agenda. So may I have a motion to approve the agenda for for January 14th, 2020?
Sonia motion.
Oh, sorry, 2021, excuse me.
Sonia motion.
Tejas second.
Okay, thank you. So all in favor say aye. I'll just go down the list again if that's okay. Sonia,
Aye.
Aruna,
Aye.
Fengi,
Aye.
Meghna,
Aye.
Tejas,
Aye.
and then Andrea.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay, motion passed. Moving on to number 6, approval of meeting minutes. So may I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes for December 10th, 2020?
Meghna motion.
And then a second?
Andrea second.
Okay, thank you. So all in favor say aye. I'll go down the list again. Sonia,
Aye.
Aruna,
Aye.
Fengi,
Aye.
Meghna,
Aye.
Tejas,
Aye.
Andrea, sorry,
Aye.
and then Siley, aye. Okay, any opposed? Okay, motion passed. All right. So if we can move on to number 7, public forum. Do we have any comments from the public forum?
Do we have any comments there, Mike or Rachel?
Anthony, you have one.
one.
Mr. Mehta.
Okay, thank you.
Youth Commission. What I would like to mention today is about that. What youth require is to accomplish. Youth is the nonchalant movement of a generation which can pave a path to the people, to the seniors, to the different generation. That what they could accomplish, what they could envision, what they could lead, what they could provide, what they could vision, and what they could make to have their own creation, for the youth themselves. Youth has the ability to provide the stability and as well as the creation, the development, that which is required for any envision to get completed. What I would like to refer today to the City of Milpitas Youth Advisory Commission and all the youth that, since the pandemic has been ongoing, consider to develop and provide a substance where children gets out of a poverty, gets education, gets the right set of needs, health, and necessary resources to build what is required to get the education, and as well as also develop a distance learning education system as well. The technology is paving a path for everybody, and in Silicon Valley, this is the way that youth could lead and provide the pathway to a lot of people, and also provide a lot of help. Thank you.
Thank you. Did we
Thank
have
you.
anything else?
That's all we have.
Thank you. So we can go ahead and move forward.
Okay, thanks. All right, so moving on to number 8, announcements. Do we have any announcements?
So I actually had a couple things that I wanted to bring up. So I've in the last week or so, 2 weeks, gotten a lot of inquiries from the commission itself in regards to your guys' work plan items. I think I just wanted to make the announcement that during the process, I think it's a good opportunity to ensure that you guys understand what exactly we're going through the work plan items. And I think it's very important to pay close attention as we do go through them today. I would like to make a suggestion that potentially the commission should consider ensuring their allocation of who's in what subcommittee, and us going over that today so that we have a full circle understanding of who that is and what you are doing. This would allow for the ability to have our alternate commissioners, Rachel and Mitty, to also join those should you choose to move forward. So I just want to kind of present that to you. Also, I did want to bring up that I have been working with also a Milpitas part-time staff person that has quite an interest in the esports realm and information that I'm gathering some more information on that I'm going to report to you guys at our next meeting. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. That by no means does not mean that you need to utilize the information and or that you need to disembark from the information that you already have. So I just wanted to present that to everybody.
Okay, thank you. So if there aren't any more announcements, then we can move on to business items. All right. Okay, so A.
So we had a
sorry.
hand raised, sorry.
Oh, my apologies.
Councilmember
Sorry.
Chua? Oh, you're still muted there, sorry. There you go.
Thank you, Chair. And I just would like to take the announcement portion just to introduce myself. I will do the council report towards the end of the meeting, but I'm really excited to be here. Greetings to everyone. Happiest 2021 to all. And I actually asked for this commission because I love the youth. I've done a lot of work with the partnership with the Milpitas High Schools and also with the middle school, or partner with the Environmental Society of Milpitas High School. We did the neighborhood cleanup and parks cleanup. And I work with the management of Milpitas High School. We did a lot of events in terms of mental health, increasing parents' engagement with the school and the students. We've also been lucky enough to partner with not partner, but guided the members and the leadership of Project 6. And we've done exhibits and work where it relates to women's rights, LGBTQ, human trafficking. What else? There about greening of the environment, and a lot of good projects that I work with. I'm really excited about what we have done, and I'm looking forward to working with you. And I'm excited to looking at your work plan, and it's a full plate. So thank you, and we'll be working together on this. Especially, it's going to be a challenge because of the pandemic, but I'm sure you guys will be very successful. Thank you all.
Thank you, council member. I did want to bring up, guys, that was brought to my attention that we would need to make a motion to reapprove the meeting minutes from December 10th, as those that were absent for that meeting will have to abstain. So those of you that were not in that meeting, you would have to abstain your vote. So let's, what you're going to do, Siley, here is you're going to make a motion to reapprove the meeting minutes from then. And then we will have to have someone make another motion second, and then we will vote. And those of you that were absent will have to abstain.
Okay, so I make the motions.
You'll be making a motion to reapprove the meeting minutes.
So motion to reapprove the meeting minutes for December 10th, 2020, I believe.
Correct. Can we get a motion, please?
Oh, yeah. Oh. I believe I made the motion.
No, Magna made the
second.
motion, so.
Oh, sorry.
please.
Okay.
Thanky,
Do I second? I thank you second.
you're actually going to make the motion.
I thank you motion.
I believe I was there.
So you'll have to, again, announce your second.
Andrea second.
And then now we will go to a vote. And as we go through this vote, those that were absent last week will have to abstain.
Okay. So I believe I have a list of who all was there, but I'll still call out everyone's name. And
Correct.
if
And you
weren't
will
there,
call out, I believe you will call out the alternates in this situation to
Sure.
yay or nay.
Okay. So all in favor say aye. So Sonia,
Abstain.
Aruna,
Abstain.
Fengi,
Aye.
Meghna,
Abstain.
Tejas,
Abstain.
Andrea,
Aye.
Nidhi,
Aye.
Rachel. Aye. Siley, aye. Any opposed? Okay, so motion
Thank you.
passed to reapprove the minutes, I believe.
Correct. So now we'll get back down to item number 9.
Okay, thank you. So number 9A, work plan events. Background, the Youth Advisory Commission is partnering with local groups to develop and execute events for community engagement. Recommendation, commission to provide feedback on decision of events, to which include dates, times, and locations. So would this be, so this would be different from when we discuss our subcommittee.
We're just making the recommendation that we're going to want to provide that feedback.
Okay. All right. So I can move along to 9B, if that's all right.
After you've made the recommendation, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you read the background, correct? Did you read the recommendation already?
I did, yeah.
My apologies. Go ahead. Yes, you can move forward.
Okay, great. 9B, work plan proposal 2020 to 2021. Background, founded April 1996, the Youth Advisory Commission was established to advise the City Council on matters pertaining to youth and teens in Milpitas. Commissioners must be students in grades 7 through 12 and live in Milpitas. Recommendation, review approved 2020 to 21 work plan. So I believe that our subcommittee breakout section kind of outlines all the things that we're going over in our work plan. So I believe that we can move on to C because that has the whole list. Okay. C, subcommittee breakout. I, subcommittee selections. Number 1, Youth Advisory Commission to confirm subcommittees and move forward with placement of those wishing to participate in the subcommittees that follow. City staff / commissioners. A, current subcommittee selections. For Career Day, Siley. Film competition, Sanya. Mental health awareness, Andrea. Teen Center events, Sanya, Aruna, Meghna. Tobacco-free communities, none. So we can kind of start there, right, by determining who wants to be in which subcommittee, just in case they haven't confirmed yet.
So what we would want to do here is we would want to move forward to the next item, because then we'll be able to provide a small update, and then you guys can, from that point, if there is an interest to reallocate to those in the subcommittees, that's when we'll move forward.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. So 2, subcommittees to provide updates on work plan proposal items. Work plan 20 to 21 was approved at the November 17th City Council meeting. So we have a list of all 5 events, or all 5 subcommittees, sorry. And the first one is Career Day, so I think we can just kind of take it event by event, and everyone can provide their own updates, if that's all right. Okay, so starting with Career Day, Anthony, do you think I could share my screen now?
Sure, you should have the capability to do so now that you're a panelist.
Okay. All right, looks good. Okay, so hold on, let me just get my, okay. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me try that again. Okay, so hi everyone. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about like some of the ideas and some of the decisions that we may either be able to start discussing today, or we may actually find a conclusion to each one of these decisions. So for Career Day, we've kind of been talking about it a little bit since last year. Unfortunately, we weren't able to go through with it because of the pandemic. But as we've discussed over the past few months, we should be able to do a virtual Career Day using breakout rooms, kind of like representing what different booths would look like at a Career Day. So I just wanted to get a little bit of your feedback, especially because there's a part to the planning where we can really use the help of every single, or at least the majority of commissioners, just to kind of figure out specific details. So I can just kind of summarize this Google Doc really quickly, and then I can reach out with my questions. So as of now, I was thinking that, and this is all tentative, of course, depending on how things need to change accordingly, we can definitely do that. So first of all, I was thinking that we can try to do the event sometime between March and May, because if we are going to be contacting different companies to send representatives or something like that, or we would, I would like to think that we would need at least a month, you know, of advance notice. That way, you know, we can definitely ensure that that person or the representative can talk at our Career Day event. And I was thinking that it could follow like this kind of like this schedule where it's a 2-hour event. You know, we have a 15-minute introduction, 15-minute conclusion, and in the middle, we have participants going to different breakout rooms. You know, of course, a lot of these details can be made final as soon as we figure out how many careers we want. But yeah, so the main thing that I wanted to kind of talk to the commission about was the structure of how you wanted everything to work. So I've been like envisioning this as every career / company gets one breakout room. And if a student is interested in that company, then they would go to that breakout room. So I just wanted to talk to you about how many rooms you wanted to have or how many companies that you wanted to have. But the main thing that I wanted to discuss was how we wanted to select the careers. So I was thinking of, unfortunately, I haven't been very successful finding a company that already has these determined, like a list of companies. So the first thing that I was thinking of was sending out a form to maybe MHS or to clubs or something to figure out which careers participants would want to hear. And the pro to that is that we get to customize career day as best as we can. But the con is that it might take a little bit of time, time that we may not necessarily like be able to have. The second option that I had was that every single member of the commission, they might, they might be able to reach out to their friends or something, or it's actually similar to the first option where we're still communicating with people that we know, but like the commission kind of compiles the list, because I believe with the members that we have, we should be able to get like a good list, like of kind of like a good number of different occupations, if that makes sense. So the pro is that this can be done quickly, but the con is that out of several professions, we only will be able to find 6 or 7, and that we're not customizing it as well as we could if we send it directly out to the teams. And then the seventh room, or like the last room, could just be a general like career advice room where we have a resume and an interview workshop. There could be a question and answer session, or if someone just wants to talk and bring up a few questions, they can kind of communicate with that person in the breakout room. So yeah, if I could get a little bit of your feedback on some of these, whether it's when you want to do the event, how long you want to do the event, but most particularly the structure and how you want to organize the careers, that would be really helpful. So thank you.
Yeah, I really like the idea that like to find people to talk at this event, we can just reach out to mutuals in all the fields. But I think depending on how many people we get, we can either do like a rotation sort of thing where they do like a small introduction, all of them, and then they go into breakout rooms. But if there's a lot, then I liked your idea of like you can choose which one you want to attend. But I was just thinking if people were interested in multiple, they'd also want to hear like a little bit about a couple of the other ones.
Yeah, definitely. So I thought of that as well, which is why I was thinking that like I'm not particular, like I don't know all the specifics about how breakout rooms work because I've never really hosted many meetings, but I do believe that you can leave a room and enter into another room. And ideally the information or the presentations that are being given in every single breakout room, it should be like okay for someone to leave halfway if they feel like they want to also learn a little bit more about another profession. But yeah, so do you guys prefer sending out like a form to MHS, or do you think we could kind of like compile a list depending on what we know, our interests, of those that we like talk to, something like that? I just wanted a little bit of your feedback.
I think we could compile the list ourselves, but we should probably also contact people from MHS. And depending on how fast they respond, we can take their responses into account, because we really don't have a lot of time. So whoever responds we'll take into consideration, otherwise we just won't have time.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Like we have like a cutoff for the date, that way, because I'd love to hear what other people what people would like to see at career day. So if we were to give like and I'm just kind of throwing a number out here, but if we were to give like a 2-week deadline for the form, right? That way we're still able to kind of combine both of those ideas where we can get it done quickly enough and we can also customize it. So,
Would it be possible to somehow get this form like blasted out on like the MHS email, like to like all sorts of students? Like, does anybody have any experience like getting into contact with any of the higher ups at MHS who are responsible for that?
So if I can give a recommendation in this, I do make frequent contact with the district in regards to information that does get sent out and how it gets sent. I do want to make a further recommendation that you may want to consider something a little bit easier, like a SurveyMonkey, to where you have the link already and it's very simplistic in the sense of rather than trying to compile this long list, it may be easier to send out a SurveyMonkey to specific teachers or to every teacher or to the school district itself to get feedback from the students. I think that could be a good opportunity for you guys to gather information rather quickly.
Okay, so do you think that we could like So I've never used SurveyMonkey before, but I can definitely check it out and see if I can like make a survey. And then we would just kind of send that link, and then we'd establish like ideally like a cutoff date where we'd stop taking in requests. That way, just so that we'd be able to kind of time manage everything. Would that sound like a good idea?
I think also what can be done is I can communicate whomever, if Siley, if you're the one that's going to be putting together the SurveyMonkey with the subcommittee, I can help you with getting that contact at the district to see if we can get the survey sent out and to whom, so that it can kind of speed up the process for you guys.
Okay, thank you.
But you'll definitely want to establish when that time is lapsed and be very particular in knowing when you want it to end to be able to compile the information to move forward.
Right. So so we're in January right now. So I was kind of envisioning that the event could happen sometime between March and May. I don't know if this is I was wondering if this would be like a realistic goal, or basically, I'd love to hear your feedback on what you think of the timeline. Because if we were to do it, because March seems a little bit soon right now, but maybe the last week of March might still be able to work. So what do you guys think?
I think as soon as we get all of the panelists, I think we should give them at least like 3 to 4 weeks before the actual event. So it depends on like when we want to like set the deadline to have all the panelists.
Okay, hold on. I can actually just make a timeline right now, if that's okay. So we'd want to send out the survey. Oh, sorry. And then like reach out to, we wouldn't ask for specific companies. Like when we send out a survey, we wouldn't really ask for companies. We just ask for like fields, right? Or like careers or something like that. Okay, reach out to corresponding companies. And then 2 months later, ideally. Is that, I don't know. 1 month later? 1 to 2 months. Let's put 1 to 2 months later.
Is 2 months a little bit too long?
I don't know. I just want to make sure that companies have enough time, because
I don't know, because like I don't know if we're reaching out ourselves, it would be like companies, but you know, if your parent has like a coworker that would be interested in sort of like that. So I don't think they need like 2 months to prepare. But
okay.
One thing you're also going to want to consider or think about is marketing. If you're getting stuff out, that does take time. You know, we can work with you to create the marketing concept with your subcommittee's help, what you guys want to see. We generally do put a 3 to 4 week turnaround on some of those items due to the demand that they have. So I don't think 2 months is too loose of a time. If anything, you know, giving yourself more time is maybe a little bit better so that you don't rush and you get a good product. So that's something you may want to consider. And if you do choose to do that, again, you know, we can help you out with marketing information to get out.
Thank you. So right now I'm seeing like April wouldn't be too like far-fetched. I think that could still be kind of doable. Of course, May, it's good to keep it a little bit open, as you mentioned, Anthony, because it's good to have a little bit of extra time. But I can kind of take your feedback and I can look over some of the stuff and hopefully be able to make a more concrete timeline and more concrete action item with your recommendations. So thank you very much, you guys. It really helped. So that's all. I'm done sharing my screen now. So.
If I can add on to like the Zoom breakout rooms thing. So I did a bit of research and I believe that it is possible to create breakout rooms which people can leave and join into.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you all for your suggestions. Again, like I said, it's really gonna help. So.
Councilmember, go ahead.
If I may add to that one, maybe I'm just thinking aloud. Maybe think about maybe group. I don't know based on the feedback on what type of careers the students want to have to listen to. You can also group. I just had a meeting with the chief of acting chief of police and fire chief. You can look at that. Maybe this time around do the first responders, like the police, the fire, the nurses, even get one of the council members or the mayors or the architects, anybody involved with the first responding type. I can look at the director of fire public works, because they're very involved in emergencies. And you can also maybe just to expedite, so you're not like grasping a real big arena. You group it into smaller one. So doctor or any, and which is going to be relevant as well, because we will hear their experiences during this pandemic. That's just my thoughts.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, so if no one has any comments, or
Can I
does anyone have?
follow up on
Yeah,
something?
sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So, you were talking about like getting the word out. A lot of teachers like to forms get sent out by MHS. A lot of teachers they like to make their students fill them out as like a Wednesday assignment during advisory period. So if you did send that out and you sent it out to the teachers, then there might be quite a few who, or you could like recommend that you ask your students to do them during their advisory, because a lot of teachers like to do that anyway. So it's an idea if you want to get the word out.
The Wednesday advisory period, right, at MHS? Is that? Oh yeah. All right. Thank you. That's a good suggestion. Thank you. All right. Again, thank you for all of your comments and feedback on Career Day. I really appreciate it, and I'll definitely kind of keep them in mind as we go forward. So moving on to the film competition. So
before you move forward, I think that this would be a good opportunity, and this is totally up to you, chairs, if you want to ask the commission if they want to, be a part of that subcommittee, or if you wanted to go through the entire thing and then do that. Totally up to you.
No, definitely. Yeah. Does anyone want to join the Career Day subcommittee? Now would be. You're right. Then now would be a pretty good time to kind of talk about that.
I can help if you need help.
Okay.
I can help as well.
All right. Thank you. So I will make a note of that, and then. All right. Okay. So if that's all right, then we can move on to the film competition.
Okay. So as far as the film competition, we have most of the details already, since it was supposed to happen last year. So I was thinking this could still occur in May though, because the people in the film, I forgot what the class was, I think video production and Milpitas, they can maybe use some of their projects to submit at the end of the year. So I remember we reached out to Mr. Renter last year, and he was interested in judging the films. And we also had a couple of other art teachers, so I'm assuming he'd also be interested this year. And as far as the films, we decided that there would be two categories. One was short film, which we put as 3 to 5 minutes, but I think we could change it to 1 to 3 minutes. And then and that was the one where they could make a video on harms of vaping. So they could create a short film, 1 to 3 minutes, that would encourage adolescents to consider harms of vaping with any style of their choice. And I remember we were going to present it at that one event, but I'm not sure if that's a thing this year, but we can still have it and incorporate it maybe into our tobacco-free community committee as well. It's still open to any suggestions. And the second one was open category. This one was any length, but a maximum of 10 minutes with any theme, and it has to be a minimum of 2 minutes. And we were going to judge them on how engaging, creative, and informative they are, and how well they relate to the topic chosen by the participants. But again, I was considering maybe asking Mr. Rencher how he grades the films, because I'm not too knowledgeable on all these things, so we can definitely get his input. And as well, they would submit like a supplemental, like a couple of questions that include why did you choose this topic, or what does this topic mean to you? What do you hope your audience gains from watching your film? Describe your filming process. Why did you choose to shoot your film a certain way? And include other ideas you would like to share, or describe what stood out to you the most while filming. These are just a couple that I brainstormed. I'll send you all of this document after, and if you have any like suggestions or different questions, feel free to add them. This is just what I wrote down. And then there would be 2 age groups, a 6th through 8th grade, and then a high school 9 to 12. I'm not sure if we should still do this or make it one category, depending on how many people submit films, since there's already 2 categories within each division. So maybe we could just have everybody compete with each other. And then submissions can be individual or in groups, which I'm assuming a lot of people might do. And yeah, we don't have a deadline for anything yet, but if the competition is roughly in May, or if the results are in May, I'd assume that to give the teachers enough time to grade, we would want the submissions to be done sometime in April. And ideally, I can compile all the information. And is it possible to get flyers out like maybe late February, the earliest, or would it have to be in like March?
I think it can be done. We would just, your subcommittee would have to get, information over fairly quickly. I would say probably within the next week as to what you were looking for on your flyer.
Got it. Okay. All right. So I think that gives enough time for the competitors to submit their videos if it's sometime in April. Okay. Oh, and I remember we had concerns about intellectual property, so they would have to submit 30 seconds of raw footage that can confirm intellectual property. Yeah, so, and as far as submitting the films themselves, I wasn't sure. I didn't think it would be like a smart idea to have them just email the videos, because it might get a little disorganized for the judges. So maybe we can set up a Google form for them to turn in their videos. But again, if you have any other suggestions, please let me know, because I'm not too sure how that would work. And if you guys have any input as well, yeah, I'd love to hear it.
I think it sounds pretty great. I like the fact that we still have like the 2 categories, like short film or long film, because I feel like it really gives people the opportunity to be creative, because they get to choose which type. So could I just ask about the timeline again one more time? Like, when were you planning on?
Yeah, so if the flyers get sent out like around late February, I'd hope, or we'd plan for the submissions to be due mid-April or late April, mid to late April, yes. And then that gives time for the judges to judge. And then the event would be held sometime mid to late May. Oh, I forgot to mention, for the event, we would we can hold like a showcase where we stream all the videos. So if people want to watch, they are, but we would have like a specific time when the awards are presented, and at that point we would play the winning pieces as well. So everybody has a chance to view the other submissions as well as give recognition to the winning submissions.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any other comments? Suggestions? Go ahead, Councilmember.
Hi, thank you, Chair. I'm also a liaison for the Library Commission there, and I think it was Monday when we had our meeting, and they're actually looking for partnership, and I was really looking forward for tonight's meeting, because if you can they're looking to do something around that time, like February, May type thing, dates. And I was kind of debating whether, partnering with the library would be good with the theme on mental health or the teen center events. It's up to you guys. I'm just throwing this idea to you, but I guess let me know if there's an interest to partner with the Library Commission, because they're looking at the youth themselves to partner with. And do we have a budget, Anthony, for this type of events for the library?
So we do have a holding account. The Youth Advisory Commission does have a holding account. I would have to confirm what the contents of that is at this moment.
Oh, okay. Because as far as I know, the Library Commission, they've done a good job raising funds, and they have some funds. So I think that would be something to think about when you do your work plan, if you can somehow link it to them, and I can bring that idea to them as well. You have something. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. We have made it a big encouragement piece of the commission to really try and look for those partnerships within the community to alleviate some of the pressure of just the commission solely trying to put together events themselves. So this is a great opportunity for you guys to go ahead and do that. Council member, if you could provide me with that contact, that would be great, so that I can go ahead and see how I can maneuver them and put them in contact with the specific subcommittees that are necessary.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because, yeah, that would be perfect.
Great. So with that being said, was there anybody that wanted to join Sonia in the film competition subcommittee?
I would like to.
Okay, Rachel. Anybody else? So I think for the success of the subcommittee, it's best generally to have 3 subcommittee members. So if anybody else is interested in that, definitely this would be a good opportunity to do so.
I can join.
Thank you, Siley. Okay, well, if nobody else has anything, we can go ahead and move forward.
Okay, all right. So moving on to the Mental Health Awareness Committee, or subcommittee. Sorry.
So for mental health awareness, it says I was looking for a partner for some kind of event. So I know that in the past we worked with Cassie, and so we could try and organize an event with either them again, or we can find another partner like NAMI, because they're also very involved with mental health. but that's for the event. And depending on when we contact them, I hope like soon after this meeting, we'll decide and contact them. And I was going to say May since that is Mental Health Awareness Month, but it seems that we're planning a lot of things that are falling around that time frame. So we can try for earlier, like maybe March or April, if that's possible.
I think March is a little aggressive for you guys, and I don't want you guys to be unrealistic with time as far as being able to give the highest output that you can. One thing to maybe consider, if you guys are open to it, is potentially pushing the film competition out one more month to allow more time, and then you're able to pair this mental health awareness with the according month. I think that allows, it gives it a little bit more substance behind it when you have something that you're pushing towards that. But completely up to you and your group or your subcommittee to see if that's something that you would be okay with doing.
So I think the goal for before the next meeting would to be confirm the partner and also to email them in order to start setting up the event. And I think some other things we could do is, posters, flyers, social media, maybe City Hall, post them around the City Hall and things like that. But that is basically what this committee is doing.
So Sonia, Rachel, and Siley, would you guys be open to pushing the film competition to maybe late May, potentially, to allow for this to potentially be in early May? I think that might be wise.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. So with that being said, does anybody else have any comments or want to throw in some additions for the mental health awareness kind of partnership piece? All right.
For the mental health awareness subcommittee, are we also going to add some more members into the subcommittee?
All right, so we can go ahead and if there's anybody else that's interested in being a part of that subcommittee, this would be the time to do so.
I can join.
Was that Nidhi and Aruna? Great. All right, so to review, it would be us making contact with the partner and then working on the flyers to put things together. And then was there any other pieces to that you guys had? And we're good with an early May time. We can go ahead and move forward.
Okay, so moving on, we have Teen Center events, which includes Milpitas High Club partnership update, care packages, and the esports event.
I can start. Me and Tatis were able to talk to the esports club at MHS, and then I can just like share what I got, and then maybe Tatis, you can also talk a little about your input from it.
Yeah, that works. I took a lot of notes as well, so we can go over those.
Great. So they were interested in helping us out with the the esports event, sorry. But they had a couple of questions that I thought I would ask because I wasn't exactly sure. I remember we were considering in the beginning potentially making it a fundraising situation where they would pay a couple of dollars to enter, but the club didn't want to have an entry fee. They wanted it to be accessible to everybody, which I agree with. But they were also interested in like potential fundraising for their club. And without like the entry fee, I wasn't completely sure how that would work. So Anthony, if it's okay with you, Is it okay if I just provide your email? Because I'm not exactly sure how the fund that would work.
Sure. That's totally fine.
Oh, what I can tell you about what they said, specifically about like the fundraising, is that because like Sanya mentioned, the vice president of their club was very against like the entry fee because like amidst COVID and all of that, they don't want to add any financial barriers to anyone. They were wondering whether the city can somehow sponsor like a certain amount, perhaps 100 or 200 for their club to run the tournament. And they're interested in getting these funds because due to COVID, they're unable to run food sales and normal fundraisers that Milpitas High School offers. And a little bit more, we asked them a little bit more about like if they got sponsored, like how would this money go to their club? And they said that once it's in their account, it would be used specifically for prizes for their tournaments, running other club events and tournaments. And they said that if we're unable to get a direct like cash or like some sort of financial sponsorship like that, another way that they would accept it is in the form of prizes such as gift cards or something else for future tournaments that they can run.
Yes. Oh, wait, sorry.
Just so I'm clear, you're talking in reference to the esports, right, Tejas?
Yes.
Okay, so I will do some follow-up on that and report back to you guys for sure.
Thank you. So as far as the tournament itself, I wasn't too sure how these were run, so they were able to give pretty good information. Generally, it's run like people compete in teams, and their competitions that they've hosted in the past lasted a couple of weeks, but I'm not sure that we want to do that format. So if we do single elimination, it could take a weekend, which is fine because people like to watch the streams and there's commentators. So they have, they said that they have a Twitch account with, they said to include the data, they had 347 followers and around 50 views per stream. So they would be able to get a lot of people to sign up for the tournament. And as far as the game itself, typically they run Valorant or League, but they also could possibly do Minecraft, but they'd have to have money to get a good server for Minecraft game, which is about $40 per month. But if we were just doing one event, it would just be for that month. Oh, so that was another consideration. They were asking if we did the server, if they would be able to use the server for future events, if we're only doing one. And oh yeah, so that's what I got. And then if you guys have any input on how you'd like them to contribute to the event as well, I'd like to hear that so I could relay it back to them.
I want to add a little bit more about like what they said in specific. So like Sanya mentioned, it's single elimination will take less time, but I do believe that it's going to take over a single weekend just because of the nature of esports tournaments and not having enough time to play long matches. And as for the barriers to actually participate in the tournament, most games that they run are free to play. League of Legends and Valorant both being free. But Chromebooks that schools give you cannot download games, so you will require something more than that to actually run the games. Single elimination, I think it's self-explanatory, but once you lose once, you're out of the tournament. And some good prizes to give for the tournament are either a direct financial reward of money, or it could be gift cards like such as Amazon, Riot Games, or Steam gift cards. And another thing is, where is it? So Sanya and I asked whether like what sort of prizes we should give in the sense that do we reward first, second, and third? And they said that if we do that, then we would need an additional third place match game. But they said that as long as the prize is worth it, the teams will be willing to play. So they recommended that we only give one larger prize to first place because in these types of games that are typically run, there are many people on each team, and one large prize would be split between all of the members. So if it's split, then it'll be a fair award to everyone on that team. And a little bit more about what they can offer. They were telling us that in order to actually have a successful event go live and maintain popularity, you need to have casters and people who are properly streaming it on a Twitch account that they're experienced with. And if they agree to work with us, then they can provide the service entirely. So we would have to do nothing in that aspect. And we asked a little bit more about whether there's different divisions for grades or if it's all the same. And they mentioned that with the amount of participants that we get, one division will probably be enough. And they usually do high school and college combined. But Sanya was like kind of hesitant about doing college. So we want to talk a little bit more about like what kind of age limit we want to set on this tournament. Another topic we mentioned is combining all of these grades due to like the small number of participants. And since not many elementary school students play, like middle school and mostly high school would probably play, but they specifically warned us that you need to have very adequate moderation if you're mixing, because it already gets wild enough with just high school. And for example, they said that if you work with them, that they have 3 to 5 moderators in their Twitch chat at all times, who can like actively moderate the chat. And like they left like the warning saying like people will say anything, so you need to be really careful with moderating, especially if it's like a city-run event. And last thing I want to add about like the possibility of doing Minecraft with them. I think Stania covered a good amount of it, but if it was a Minecraft tournament, it wouldn't have to be many weeks. It could pretty much be done in like a single day, because Minecraft in nature is different than like Valorant or League of Legends of that sort. And yeah, so after the tournament is over, they would be interested in, if possible, to use the server hosting service to host a Minecraft server for like the entire Milpitas High School community or just students of Milpitas for as long as it lasts, which would be a month. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to add. And I just wanted to discuss what age limit we want to set for this.
Yeah, so I think as far as the age limit, if we were to do like a teen center event, first it would be, high schoolers, but I guess since they do have a lot of college students, I'm not sure if we should advertise it for college students, but if they're like 18 or 19, I guess there's, it's like a teen center event, they could still sign up. So I don't know if you guys wanted to like emphasize like when promoting, if it's for a certain age group, or just leave it open, if you guys have any suggestions on that.
I think if we allowed like for college students to do it, I just don't think it would be as fair just because they're older. It's in my personal experience. And I also was wondering whether they would host it on Java or whether they would host it on Bedrock, if you know that.
It would most likely be Java.
Because that's kind of crucial.
I actually think it would be okay to invite some college students, because I don't think video games, how good you are at video games or esports in general, like really depends on your age. Since like, some people just are very good at a game and they're in high school or middle school. So I think we can keep it open. That would also encourage more people to, play together.
I do have a recommendation that being that it is considered a teen center event, we would want to limit this to those that could be allocated towards the teen center. So those that are that have turned 18, unfortunately, we would limit that participation. And it may be one good thing to consider having the flexibility to potentially be able to do a middle school and a high school, two different groups, if you will. But based upon your participation numbers, you may have to blend those. So that's my recommendation.
Oh, and we also discussed like briefly on a little bit of promotion. So I was thinking to get more people to participate and make more incentives. They have an Instagram account for their club. So if we have like a flyer, they can ask people to repost it and promote, and then they can keep track of that and then let us know, and it could go towards like a raffle point or something. So we can have like a small raffle, maybe just like a gift card for just so that we can have like the winners get their prize and then just like a small activity going on. So that was one of the ideas I had. If anybody has any others.
I think that that's a good idea, because not only for those that are winners, but you're also keeping people captured for a chance raffle, which is good. I think one of the big outliers here is figuring out when you guys wanted to do this. We have quite a loaded May, so this could be something that you guys look to do.
Yeah, I think I sorry, I forgot to mention I was planning on like sometime in April, if that's okay. But if
I think that's possible. I just think that there's a lot of information that needs to be confirmed in a fairly quick amount of time for us to do that.
For April, if you guys, sorry, I'm not really familiar with a lot of like esports concepts, but judging off of what you guys said, it seems to take up a good amount of time. Like it'll be nice to kind of spend a few days on the tournament if that's what you guys were thinking of doing. So I believe that spring break is in April. So if you guys would want to do like Monday to Friday, something like that, I don't know, that's just the first thing that popped up into my head when I heard multiple days in April. So.
Also, going back to like the game, if we did want to make it like shorter, since we have like so many events, are we okay with like suggesting Minecraft and then we would have to do the $40 server with it? I think that's the best way to go at this point.
Yeah, I think we would need to check into confirming if we wanted to in fact do that. But besides that, I think that doing something in April isn't super aggressive. That's a great point with spring break, because, unfortunately, at this point in time, not too many people can travel. So this would be a good opportunity to give people something to do during that time. So that's a really good point to maybe set your sights on that date. But there is information that we got to kind of circle off, and you as a subcommittee have to really dive in and work on. With that being said, I know that with the Teen Center events, it's a very broad kind of subcommittee that we had in there. We could look to break that up if you guys are open to that, to make we would have to obviously make a motion to create another subcommittee that would be driven towards just esports potentially, and then another one that's driven towards whether it's your care packages or what other thing you really need to do. But I think that might be a smart idea.
I think that's a good idea based on like the amount of things that are going to come out of that one subcommittee. I think it's smarter if we break it up into esports and something else.
Okay, so if you guys, Siley, if you would like to, this is an opportunity to make that motion, if you will.
Okay, so may I have a motion to, actually, can I create both at the same time, or do we need to do esports and then Teen Center?
You can create two.
Okay.
If you'd like.
So may I have a motion to make two individual subcommittees, the esports subcommittee and then the Teen Center subcommittee? teen center
Pages
events.
motion.
Sorry.
Fang Yi second. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll vote so that I can go down the list. So Sonia, Aruna,
Aye.
Fangi,
Aye.
Meghna,
Aye.
Tejas,
Aye.
Andrea,
Aye.
Siley, aye. All right, motion passed. So now we have 2 separate subcommittees. Okay, so were those all the comments about the teen center events? I believe that there were a few more bullet points there. Right, so the care packages or the, right.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just have some questions about logistics for the care packages. So I don't know if we already discussed what budget looks like or who our audience, like targeted audience for who we want to distribute the care packages to. So based on that, we can go on deciding what we want to actually include in them. So Anthony, I don't know what, if we discussed our budget yet for the care packages.
We did not.
Okay. So how would we be able to navigate that?
So what I can do is based upon your guys' suggestions of what you would look to do, I can see what can be allocated towards that based upon your needs. And you guys can kind of give an idea of what you may think that would be so that we can figure out what those funds could look like.
Okay. So does anyone in the commission have feedback on what we want to actually include in the care packages? Yeah.
I remember when I was first thinking of, well, not first, but like over the past few months, like I was just kind of thinking about this. And this might be a little bit like a little bit of a reach, but I was thinking that since we do have like an elaborate list of kind of a good variety of events, actually, like ranging from film competition, career day, esports, you know, they're not really similar. So I was thinking that like we could have care packages that like correspond with that theme. So like a film competition theme or a career day theme or an esports theme or a mental health awareness theme. It might be a little bit repetitive, which is why I was saying it's a little bit of a reach, but basically like items that are traditionally associated with that type of event. At the moment, I don't quite have anything off the top of my head. I believe I'd written it down somewhere, but it would be like, I was thinking that we could have a few like, you know how when we used to attend the events like last year or so, we would get like pop sockets and lanyards and things. So I was thinking that each care package could have a little bit of the like teen center like merchandise. I don't know if that's the correct term to describe it, but and then I was also thinking like I really like the idea of having like a worksheet of like takeaways. Like if you weren't able to attend the event, then this is what you could have. That might be a little bit like, as I mentioned before, repetitive, but that was just something that I was thinking about where we could have like corresponding care packages. So if people can still experience the event without, even if they weren't able to make it.
Okay, that's a really good idea. I had a question. Would we be able to like work with CC Sweet Treats again to maybe like include something in those?
Yeah, I think that that's definitely a possibility.
Okay.
I would have to confirm on what's possible with them, and then we can kind of get an idea of what, if you guys can come up with an idea of what you would like, then we can see how we want to build that up.
So if we proceeded with Siley's idea, would we give notice to everyone who signed up like in advance before the events and then have them pick the packages up from the teen center? Is that how that would work? Or
so given the current state that we're in with COVID, we would probably have to do like a scheduled pickup, or it would be something that we would have to send out. I know that in my experience, with some of the things that I did in the past was I did a scheduled pickup from one of the city facilities, but that does take a little bit of logistics, especially considering that most facilities are vacant at this point in time due to COVID. So you do have options as to how you want to distribute. We would just have to see what would be available to us, and I can follow up and see what makes the most sense.
Okay, thank you. That'd be good. I think those were all my questions. Meghna or Sonia, if you wanted to add anything.
Andrea, did you have your hand up?
So I had a question, since we split the teen center events into the esports and the care packages, is that right?
Correct.
I was wondering who's going to be in each of those committees.
So as of right now, I see that Tejas, Sonia for esports, and then the teen center events that would carry over would be Sonia, Runa, and Meghna. Is that correct? We do have, if someone else is interested in the esports, this is a good opportunity to fulfill that spot as well.
I could help with that if you guys still need people.
So just so I'm clear, when we're looking at the care packages, you guys are going to want to associate them with your events, correct?
I think that's a good idea to go forward with.
All right, do we have any other comments?
I'd like to help with the esports.
Thank you, Rachel. All right, so let's, we got that taken care of. Let's go ahead and move on to number 6.
Right. So the last subcommittee that we had was the Tobacco-Free Communities Subcommittee. So
Siley, can you provide a little bit of an like a refresher to the rest of the commission as to what that kind of entailed, what we were going to do last year, and hopefully that can allow us to pivot to this year.
right. So last year we kind of had two ideas regarding the Tobacco-Free Communities Subcommittee. The first one was that I believe we would have a booth at the Youth Voice. I'm sorry, I don't quite remember the name, but we're gonna have like a booth kind of discussing the harmful impacts of vaping. And then the second idea that we were going with, which I believe it became like it kind of like got like it went in collaboration with the film competition subcommittee, where there would be a category on, once again, the harmful impacts of vaping. So those were kind of the two ideas that we were running with. And unfortunately, with the event being canceled due to the pandemic, that one really wasn't able to pan out. But we, if Sonia and, I guess I'm also part, if Sonia, I'm sorry, I don't quite remember the third person in the subcommittee, excuse me. If we'd want to consider kind of collaborating again, combining those two subcommittees to have a category for tobacco-free communities in the film competition. Would that be a good idea?
I think that's, oh, sorry, you can go first.
I don't know about collaborating, maybe like, or if we don't have enough people, then that would work. But maybe they could just like use the like videos with whatever their like agenda might be.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, as the film competition may be a little bit of a monster within itself. To combine them may be a little tough. And again, I don't want to overwhelm you guys with that. Also, too, one thing to point out is there are some people that still, that can participate in multiple areas in the work plan, so and subcommittees. So, this would be a good opportunity to give them an opportunity to do that pending what you guys would like to do. One thing that you guys may want to consider, the tobacco-free communities. I know originally we had talked about, obviously Youth Voice Live was a big piece of that. I'm not sure if that's something that's going to move forward this year virtually, or what the thought is on that. I can follow up to see if that is. However, if it is not, it is a good opportunity for you guys to potentially create a small event of your own, if you like. And then also the marketing that follows with that would be potentially a good idea.
This is like kind of a side topic, but there's a club at MHS called like Friday Night Live that I know that they also deal with like tobacco awareness and all that. I'm not completely sure, but yeah, if anybody wants to join that subcommittee, they can like ask the club as well.
Actually, in Friday Night Live, yeah, so they're basically all about it being against tobacco. They are having a meeting on Monday, so I could probably bring it up and talk to someone in person on Monday, because they're having a meetup. They also have a Discord server, so I can contact some of their leaders through there if that's something that we want to, if we want to partner with them on that.
Thank you, Rachel. Anybody else have any comments?
I would be interested in joining this tobacco-free subcommittee.
Okay. And Rachel, did you want to join as well? I'm sorry, I didn't catch you.
Sure, I'll join.
Okay. Thank you. And Tejas, go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, I was just saying, if she's going to meet with like the club itself, I could start like brainstorming some ideas for like the actual logistics of a smaller scale event, going with the assumption that Youth Voice Live won't continue. And if it does, we can always adjust the plans for that.
Is there anybody else that would be interested in that subcommittee? Okay. So what I can do, like I said, is I'll do some follow-up for that subcommittee as well to see if there's going to be any sort of inclination of a Youth Voice Live again this year. And if not, you guys will be looking to do your own smaller scale version of that. I think it would be a good opportunity once I provide the feedback to see what type of event you're looking at to allow for us to get a date figured out, because I don't think we'd be able to until we have the confirmation of what we're dealing with here. Any other comments on that? Anybody? Okay. Siley, you can go ahead and move forward.
Okay, thank you. So that wraps up the subcommittee and the work plan section of our business items. So moving on to number 10, city liaison reports. So do we have any city liaison reports?
Yeah, so at this point in time, I just wanted to make the committee aware that us internal city staff are looking to put together some sort of group associated with the teen demographic that would be able to allow for different Milpitas resident teens to get together and bring up kind of important topics or things that they may have of interest or concerns to then address that could then potentially be brought here to the Youth Advisory Commission. It is something that's in its very early stages, as we have a new social services coordinator that I'm working with on this. So I'll provide you guys updates as those kind of continue. Besides that, like I brought up earlier, I'm also looking with one of our staff, city staff, for the esports tournament that may have an additional piece to what you guys are planning that I'll fill you guys in when I get that. But besides that, that's all I had to report.
Okay, thank you. So number 11, upcoming agenda items. So subcommittee reports and commission
See, actually,
bylaws.
we have to go back to 10B.
Oh, my
Sorry.
apologies. I'm so sorry. Right,
All right.
report from council member.
Chua.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, council member Chua.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, this is from the previous 2 meetings that we had. So basically, Mayor Chan created a task force on homelessness, homeless task force to address the big issue of homelessness in Milpitas. So part of that is we haven't really design or the structure, but there is a talk that in discussion that we will add a youth member. So if you're interested in that, I'll let you know next time. Yeah, I mean, just stay in tune with the council meetings. So we would like to have a youth representative to that task force. What else? I introduced an initiative to, hopefully we can discuss it too, the ADU, accessory dwelling units, at addressing affordable housing in Milpitas, those granny homes. So that would help a lot in terms of more housing stock, more affordable housing in our housing stock. What is interesting is Mayor Tran introduced at the last council, they, in our commission structure, there's a term limit, and it's probably not applicable to this commission, but now we're changing it back to where there's no term limit, because we don't want to lose good, dedicated commissioners. Some of them have been on the commissions for a long, long time, and they had to resign because of the term limit. Now there's no more term limit. Another initiative that has been introduced, which is relevant to our commission, is an ordinance on e-cigarette or vaping. So that's something we have to look into, which relates to the tobacco-free commission. So we're looking into banning the use of e-cigarette in Milpitas. So through an ordinance. So I just want to let you guys know about that. And at the library commission, they have a program now for fine free. So if you're late, like however many months you're late in returning a book, it will be forgiven, but not the lost ones. You still have to pay if you lost something from the library. But if you're late, no worries, just turn it in and it's forgiven. So pass that along to your peers. That would be nice. I think that's it. And I also just sent an email to set up a meeting with Anthony and the representative from the Library Commission for a potential collaboration for youth and library event partnership. So there you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you very much. Okay, so moving on to number 11, upcoming agenda items, subcommittee reports and commission bylaws. Those are the two. Okay, and then if that's it for today's meeting, then we can adjourn. Is that it, Anthony? Is there anything else?
Yeah, unless anybody else has any comments.
Sorry, who is the third person in the film competition subcommittee?
We had film was Sonia, Rachel, Siley.
Mhm.
All right. I think that's it. If nobody else has anything, Sally, you can go ahead and move forward with your motion.
Right. Sorry, a quick question.
Sure.
Do we vote on the adjournment? I don't have it in my notes.
So you're going to motion second, and then we vote.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, so may I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
On your motion. Is there a
Fengi second.
Okay, thank you. I'll just call out the names. Sonia,
Aye.
Aruna,
Aye.
Fengi,
Aye.
Meghna,
Aye.
Tejas,
Aye.
Andrea,
Aye.
yeah, and then Siley, aye. Okay, meeting adjourned at 8:34 p.m.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
everybody.
Good meeting.
Have a good night.
It was
Thank
nice
you.
meeting you, council member.
Oh, my pleasure meeting all of you. Good
Good night,
meeting, by the
everybody.
way.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
No problem. We'll be talking soon. Thank you.
Okay.
All
Have
right.
a great
Bye-bye.
night, everybody.